Hey guys, um, I'm going to be responding to some Otherkin documentaries. Now, I wasn't originally going to have time for the stream, but things just happened that I'll be alone in the house for a few hours, so perfect time for a stream. So I'm going to find the Otherkin documentaries on YouTube and start responding. Let me just share the stream with everyone else. Let's see. Okay. Where's the link to this? There we go. No, that's not what I want to do. Okay, here we go. Just give me a minute to share this link on YouTube. I mean, not YouTube, Facebook and Twitter. Just no, that's the wrong thing. Twitter.com. Oh, it already says I'm live streaming. I'll just put the link there. Let me know if the link's not working. Okay. All right. So once I just share this on Facebook. Here we go. So let's get into the first documentary. Hopefully I'm gonna go through two. And one of them is the one I was talking about before on Only Human. Here we go. And let me know if the audio is okay.
Great for people that are just starting a new business.
Oh, this is just a dumb ad.
Myself. What would you do if you felt you had been born into the wrong species? When I started,
if I had felt I had been born into the wrong species, I would probably consult a mental health professional because that indicates a serious problem.
Feeling that I was non-human, I was around 10 or 11.
Sorry, I know I'm going to pause this a lot, but just the tail is just ridiculous. Like, why would you walk around in public wearing a blue tail? Like, the only person I've ever heard of doing that was one of my mom's students, and he was mentally disabled. So I'm just saying.
Increasing number of people believe they are more animal than human.
I would definitely say that I have species dysmorphia.
See, this is where I have the problem. You can run around and wear your stupid tails and do whatever. But once you start saying, I have species dysmorphia or species dysphoria or whatever they're calling it, that's where I have a problem. And as you can see, even the title tries and validates species dysphoria. And it's funny, the description says, well, some have found acceptance community. Many face rejection from a world that believes them to be crazy or asking for attention. I mean, how else would you classify this? I'm sorry.
I have these hands and this body, but internally, I am a leopard.
On all levels except physical, I am a wolf.
Oh, God. There's the cringy line right there. On all levels except physical, I'm a wolf. I'm just going to check the chat because sometimes the chat doesn't show up. Oops. Here we go. Here's the chat. Do animals even have blue tails? I mean, they don't even. Yeah, I don't know if any blue animals have blue tails. Isn't that right, Jack? My kitty's staring at me right now. Yeah, Otherkin madness. That is what this is.
Joined by a belief system and a growing internet presence, these people
internet presence. Like, here's the thing: trans people have always been around, regardless of the existence of the internet. Otherkin, meanwhile, I think has spawned off a Tumblr.
And forming relationships.
We are raccoon and leopard. It's not too relevant to whether or not we love each other.
Okay, so this gay couple right here are a raccoon and a leopard. Since when would a raccoon and a leopard mate? Like, when would that happen? Do you guys understand why this looks ridiculous?
Primal instincts take over, and before you know it, you're clawing and biting your other half to pieces and wondering why the both of you are enjoying it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this straight couple are talking about clawing and biting each other during sex. Now, if you want to do that, that's fine, but that doesn't make you an animal.
Much.
For the first time,
Jeez, I'm only 51 seconds. This is going to be a long video. I might not even get to the other documentary, which I believe is only like 10 minutes. So I could just make a response video if I had to.
welcomed into the world of human animals.
I began to get concerned.
Okay, this is just furries, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure this is what furries do, even though, unlike some people may think, I do not have personal experience. Yeah, what the fuck?
Because it sounded like almost like mental illness to me.
Yeah. I wonder why.
My child telling me that he's half animal.
These are paper.
Oh, and speaking of the mental illness angle, there actually, I don't believe that most Otherkin have this, but there is a condition. Somebody brought this up in the chat of my Otherkin video. There is a condition called clinical lycanthropy, in which somebody is delusional and thinks they are an animal that can turn into an animal. And I actually read an interesting case of somebody with this condition. And these people are often severely schizophrenic, and it's just a delusion that they have. So, I mean, there is a mental illness component to it, even though I don't believe most of the people here have that mental illness.
Paperwork's for my name change to my wolf name, which is Shiro Wolf.
Look, you can change your name to Sheer Wolf all you want, but that doesn't make you like a trans person. It's not like, oh my god, I'm changing my name. Just like, what are you going to change next? Your species marker?
What's he dressing up like?
In our changing world, a new subculture of humanity is evolving. These people don't believe that they are human at all. Identifying with a particular species, they are collectively known as Otherkin and Therians.
Okay, so to point out the difference between Otherkin and Therians, because yes, I looked it up. A Therian is just somebody who identifies as an animal, and Otherkin includes Therians, but also people who identify as demons or God or whatever.
Some choose to dress up as the species they think they are.
Okay, again, this is like a furry thing. I don't know if that's specifically an Otherkin thing. I mean, I know they're kind of related, but I mean, just walking around in a fursuit, I don't see how that would help you reaffirm that you're an animal.
Otherkin and Therians live all over the world and share one common belief.
Okay, let's go back to the stuffed animals. I kind of skipped that part. There we go. I used to have tons of stuffed animals when I was little, but that was when I was little.
Therians live all over the world and share one common belief. They think they are animals.
This is just, notice how one person doesn't have the tail, but they've got like a leopard or a cheetah tail and a fox tail, and then somebody's back.
People have asked me, well, you know, do you ever get sick of it? Do you ever get sick of thinking about it? Do I ever get sick of thinking about my elbow?
What the fuck does this have to do with your elbow? I'm sorry.
I don't really have to think about it. It's just there. It's just a part of who you are.
Caleb Carges lives on the outskirts of Buffalo, New York. He is not your usual teenager.
Oh no, he's not your usual teenager. He's special.
My species is definitely a wolf. Lately, I've been leaning more towards red wolf specifically, not only because the type of environments I like, but also because of the way I act.
So you act like a wolf? Okay. I'm sorry, this is just so ridiculous. If I'm responding to it this slowly, I might have to do several live streams. Doing Otherkin Documentaries live streams is really the only way I could do it, because otherwise it would be so long and they would take forever to edit.
If I could look in the mirror and choose what
I blame Tumblr. I seriously do. Yes, Tumblr, I think, is solely responsible for this.
Myself. That was half wolf, half human.
Caleb is part of...
So he likes anthropomorphized wolf pictures, which is kind of a furry thing from what I understand, but I don't get how you would, if you were really an animal, how you would appreciate things like this.
Part of the growing phenomenon of people who believe in some way that they are an animal.
In some way, can you be more specific? Like, how? Is it like on a spectrum of how much you're a wolf?
We believe that mentally, or at least cognitively, we are more connected with the animal side of ourselves than we are the human side of ourselves.
So, cognitively, if you were an animal, you wouldn't speak English. You would go hunt down deer. Like, I've already brought up this point before, but you would not be doing any of the currently human things that you are doing right now. I don't understand how people don't understand this.
And whether that be just the way we try to act in our life, or the way we try to communicate with the people we love or our friends, it's something that's very noticeable. It's something.
It's very noticeable. So people can just look at them and be like, I know you identify as a red wolf. Okay, keep dreaming, kid.
That needs to be constantly purged in your head, because you constantly have to realize, oh, that's right. I think differently.
You think differently because you're special.
Therians identify psychologically and spiritually with an animal. And since the age of 6, Caleb has believed he is a wolf.
When my sister was 7, she believed she was a lion. Well, not literally believe, but she wanted to pretend to be a lion. Does that... Oh, hi, Puff. You can't see it, but the kitty is demanding my attention. I mean, we thought lots of stupid things when we were that age.
I have a couple tails. This is the one that I've been wearing for the most part. It's a little bit less realistic. This one's a bit more cartoony, but I like it because it's easier to manage. I used to have actually what was a decommissioned fursuit tail, and it bothered the hell out of me because it was just like, it was just inconvenient in every way. And this one's like a lot more cute and a lot more playful. So to go out in public with it, I think it fits a lot more. But it fits me and it fits my size and it has my colors. That's actually where I sleep. Right now there's a cat where I sleep, but normally that's where I sleep. And it's mostly computers in here actually. I like it quite a lot because it gets quite warm in here. And
he reminds me of Neil Breen with all of his dead laptops. Sorry.
As a red wolf, I like warm temperatures.
Caleb lives at home with Dad Jim, brother Chris, and his mom, Mary Ellen.
Well, when you first told me about being a Therian, and you said you felt you were part animal, and you said to me, Mom, what you look at when you see me, this is not who I am. I'm actually somebody very different.
So he had to come out to his parents as an animal. Somebody posted a great comment, I think, on this video. Was, I wonder how many raccoons have to come out to their parents as humans.
I questioned if you were schizophrenic.
See, that would probably be the thing I would think too, just because of the clinical lycanthropy angle. Or I would suspect that it was some kind of childish fantasy. You know, I wouldn't take this seriously, as nobody would, but his mom seems like she's accepted it, so.
Or mentally ill. And then when you told me that, when I asked how long you had felt this way, and you told me it went all the way back to when you were around 6 years old, that you had been carrying this with you, that you really felt that part of you was wolf. I've come to really accept it and support it. I get a little bit sad sometimes that Caleb is so involved in his own world that he seldom comes into our world.
From an early age, Caleb was brought up into an accepting and diverse environment.
Okay, there's a difference between being accepting and diverse and so accepting and diverse that your brains fall out.
His mom, Mary Ellen, is a shaman.
Okay, that explains things. I'm sorry. I'm a total skeptic of you know, that kind of spirituality, that whole shamanism stuff. And like, you can believe in that stuff. I have no problem if you believe in that stuff, but I just personally don't buy it.
She believes she can communicate with the spirit world.
I find that shamanism is not a religion, but it is a way of connecting with something deeper than yourself. It is a
You can connect with things deeper than yourself without having to subscribe to any sort of ideology.
way of feeling that sense of the divine in this universe, and I honor everybody's path. And I feel the same way about what Caleb is doing. I think that it's a path that they'll take, and I think it'll evolve for them. It'd be really interesting to see what happens to him 10 years from now.
The environment in this house is very warm, and it's very open, which is probably why a lot of my friends like coming over here, and we like hanging out and doing things.
This is kind of borderline racist if you think about it, because they're you know, espousing this kind of spirituality that seems like it's based on some Native American thing, or I mean, I don't know with the drums. I mean, it seems like it's like a Native American kind of thing, but they're making ooh noises like you would make when you're making fun of a Native American. I'm sorry. Like, this could legitimately be seen as cultural appropriation, because it seems like you're almost making fun of natives. I mean, just listen to that. Does that sound like something a white person should make? Well, okay, that explains a lot. It does.
You know, you say pictures
no
worth
more
1,000 words,
commercials.
videos worth a million.
There's so many commercials coming up for YouTube ads, like as if we didn't already have enough corporatism on YouTube.
Majestic Heli Ski is
Caleb is not unique in his beliefs. He is part of a small Therian community of people in Buffalo. They include Stephen, a leopard, and Timothy, a raccoon. Together, they run an amateur radio show from his bedroom. It broadcasts to hundreds of people like them all around the world.
Hey guys, welcome back. This is episode 102. I am your host of this evening, Paradox the Wolf.
I am your Blue Fox host, Pharaoh. I am your co-host in training, Shroud.
Is a blue fox even let me look that up. Is a blue fox even a real animal? No, it's not. It's just the name of an Indian cuisine. So, blue fox, not a real animal.
Leopard. I'm your guest, Minok, the raccoon.
All right, next email that I got here. Hey guys, my name is Kobe, and I am an orange, blue, and white male German Shepherd. I am also bisexual, and I am 19 years old, and I'm having some huge...
That's an odd thing to put on your Twitter profile. I'm an orange and white German Shepherd. I don't think those even exist. Are there just orange and black German Shepherds? I'm 19 and I'm bi.
Issues with my parents in relation to being Therian. Is there any help explaining this to them?
How did you do it? I don't even remember. Oh, I barely touched on it because my parents just didn't care.
My mom just wanted me to be safe. My dad said that I could have whatever beliefs I wanted as long as I wasn't hurting anyone.
Oh, you
hurting
had it easy
myself.
too.
Yeah, it was easy.
When my mother found out, she asked me if she had done anything wrong as a parent.
Honestly, that would probably be the way we would do.
And I was like, no.
My parents always the live and let live type. As long as you're happy kind of people. Right. So as far as how I had to do it, it's not like I can offer advice from my personal experience. Yeah. Because I had it easy.
Caleb and his friends are fortunate that they are content feeling like animals. For others, though, this is not the case.
Wolf. Wolf in the moonlight, and then it's just him making the stupidest face, pursing his lips like he's trying to be a wolf. I'm sorry, that is perfect. There actually are blue foxes. The real color is cluster gay. It's a color variant related to albinism. Oh, so it's like a genetic mutation, not necessarily a species, but like a variant.
These are some of my wolf shirts. I've got probably over 50. This is my absolute favorite of them all, and it's one of my newer ones. It's got like the wolf in the moon, and it's the full body wolf, and it's purple. I just love it. It's beautiful.
18-year-old Matthew Schimmel lives in Brooklyn.
Oh, I feel embarrassed to share the same first name with this person.
Brunswick, Georgia.
That's my diploma from when I graduated high school, and they had actually put Wolfie on the side of it.
God. I bet in 10 years he'll look back and just be absolutely mortified that was actually on his high school diploma.
This is really cool. This, when I turn it on, it'll sound like a waterfall light up, and the wolf will howl. It's getting there.
It's
So yeah, I've always loved this one. I've got a whole bunch of wolf stuff.
There just seems to be more like an obsession with wolves than actually being a wolf.
I've got 2 wolf posters.
Not that there's anything wrong with being obsessed with anything, because I totally do that too.
That's a picture of the wolf that I adopted. These are wolves as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it in my room.
It is not just wolf memorabilia that sets Matthew apart from other teenagers.
In a personal, integral, and non-physical level, I am a wolf.
JJ, get off the counter. Sorry, I'm yelling at my cat because he's on the counter where he shouldn't be. Hey, get off. Get off the counter. Get off the counter. Bad boy. Yeah, Puffy, I know. Sorry, kitty break. I have to get my kitty off. And I've already got a kitty on my lap, so I can't reach over and grab him. Jack, off. Bad boy. JJ. Oh, never mind. It's not a big deal anyway.
It's very spiritual for me. I believe I have the spirit of a wolf. It's also very psychological. I behave like a wolf. I feel when I refer to myself, I am a wolf. Basically, other than the fact that I have a human body and human flesh, I am a wolf. I can't really give you a number of how many Aetherians are out there. I mean, there's hundreds of thousands in communities that I know about and that I'm a member of. Obviously, there's wolves. I'm a wolf. You know, cats, foxes, domestic cats.
Here's a point that people have brought across. Why are there no worms or insects? Oh, finally, he got off the counter. Like, why are there no lesser animals that it's not very fun to be if this were a real thing?
Tigers, lions, flies. I've met
Okay. Okay, that is okay. That is a lesser
That are
animal.
not several insects. To myself, I see a black wolf on all fours walking. And that's how I want to be pictured a lot of times because that's what I am, you know. You see me as this person, and I see myself as a wolf.
Growing up and believing...
Is that like an Autism Speaks thing behind his... Can somebody identify the ribbon behind him? Because that looks like an Autism
something
Speaks.
that no one else could see.
Ribbon Autism Speaks sucks, by the way. I think most people know that.
Meant that Matthew had a tough time at school.
Day-to-day life at school...
It says something on it. There's some kind of text on it, but I can't read what it says.
...was a living hell in every sense of the word. The only reason I survived was because of my very few close friends who I am still fiercely loyal to this day. The same loyalty a wolf would have to his pack.
So he's saying the only reason why he's loyal to his friends is because he's a wolf, not because... This kind of reminds me of Mystery Men when Ben Stiller's like, I'm a lone wolf separating from the pack. Except this guy literally thinks he's a wolf.
I'm always at home most of the time, and my mom's at home most of the time. So.
One of those loyal friends from school is Jade.
The first thing I noticed was the tail. It was the first thing I noticed about him. And then he had a wolf shirt on.
Jade is also a wolf and instantly bonded with Matthew due to their similar beliefs.
He was the one who actually brought up Therians. And at that time, I was still kind of new to the whole concept. Like, I knew that about, me being a wolf, but I didn't know the technical term for it.
We just hang out here, really.
Yeah.
It's a nice place to go.
It's quiet.
It's quiet. You can meditate here. No distractions from random people,
Okay, is this real? Is this real? I mean, there must be some parts of this that are staged. I mean, as go a lot of documentaries, but I'm sorry. This is like the Poe's Law where it's in that zone between satire and reality, and I can't figure it out. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
It makes me feel more connected being here because this is where I'd kind of be, in my natural environment. There's more spiders over there.
It means a lot to me that, he has included me in his pack and kind of taken me in. Like, for the longest time, it seemed like nobody was there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's like,
I don't normally get to do that.
It's a huge release. Because you kind of have to bottle so much up inside when you're certain places, and you can just let it all out.
Why did they put the title in there again? I'm wondering if that was an editing mistake. By the way, and no judgment, because I also use iMovie. These titles look like they were straight out of iMovie, which I would expect a higher production value for a documentary on this kind of platform.
Not only limited to America, people who identify with
Oh God, more
people
ads.
that are just starting a new business or small
I'm
business.
complaining about the ads every time they pop up.
Animals live all over the world. Ben and Kimberly live on a farm in West Sussex, in the remote countryside of England. They are one of the handful of Otherkin couples who are married.
Our relationship with our dog is definitely a pack relationship, much like it is with any other dog, really. But I think in our case, it helps a lot more that we're kind of a little bit attuned to maybe the way he's thinking.
So I guess this is an answer to the question I posed in my Otherkin video. How do Otherkin relate to their pets? And I guess the answer is they think they're part of the same pack. And really, that dog has no idea what you're doing or thinking. It just knows that you give it food and attention. I can testify that as a cat owner. I mean, I know dogs are a little different, but all animals care about is that you give them food and attention, and that's pretty much all they need. They need food and love. Especially my cat Puff, because all she needs is food. Isn't that right, Puffy? You bad kitty.
Maybe a little bit attuned to the way we're thinking. It's kind of like having a little version of us.
Ben and Kimberly feel that they share their bodies with the spirit of a wolf.
This is the drawing of Ben and myself that my friend Lana did, which, as you can tell, is just absolutely beautiful. It's so nice to have a proper representation, like that I can say to people, okay, this is what we look like. Ben on.
Are there any wolves that actually have bright blue eyes or bright red eyes? Because I doubt that. Let me look up wolf pictures. I mean, there might be some that have blue eyes, but no, it looks like they more have like yellow eyes. You can kind of see here. Yeah, they have like these yellow brownish eyes, so they don't even look like that.
On the bottom there with the blue eyes, I'm the sort of ambery eyed wolf with the horns. For my 21st birthday, I got a tattoo. Just sort of like a weird sort of silhouette of my wolf side. I love it. It's just very me, and I'll never regret it because it's my soul basically inked on my leg.
Ben and Kimberly have been together for 8 years.
Oh, wait, let me pause to respond to the chat. Why can't people just be like, yo, I'm super obsessed with wolves? You don't have to be one. Like, you do you, but I can't help but thinking in 5 years they're going to be so embarrassed. That's exactly what I think. And somebody posted, I think some Arctic wolves have blue eyes. Let me look that up real quick. Yeah, they're a different species of wolf. Looks like they have more dark eyes, but it's kind of hard to see. I mean, I'll believe you. Maybe some have blue eyes, but they don't look. My point is that they don't look like that drawing of the wolf, because an Arctic wolf has more white-colored fur, so they don't look like the wolves that they showed at all.
Married for 2.
The second I saw him, I was just completely attracted to him, more than I had been ever attracted to anyone. It was pretty much instantaneous, you know. I just felt really drawn to him. And I made it my kind of mission to find out who this guy was and who his friends were. And I kind of maybe even stalked him a tiny bit by finding out who his friends were and things like that. So, you know, a little bit creepy, but, you know, it worked out well for me in the end.
There was just something about her that seemed right to me on a subconscious level at the time. And when we were together, we just clicked.
I need your help.
All Otherkin and Therians have one thing that bonds them together. It's the very moment they realize they are an animal. This is a process called awakening.
Well, it came upon me around the age of 15, and as you can imagine, puberty being a difficult time for any teenager, and then you're having almost a whole nother puberty happen at the same time, and it's a frightening experience, you know, lots of new sensations and feelings that you're having to deal with.
Okay, this kind of annoys me because trans people actually do have a really hard time with puberty. That's how they figure out. The majority of them figure out that they're trans. So saying like, oh, puberty was so hard for me because I'm an Otherkin kind of devalues that experience.
Kimberly discovered this as a teenager. However, for Ben, the catalyst for his awakening was meeting her.
She shared her experiences.
So he didn't realize that he identified as a wolf until he met somebody else who identified as a wolf. If this were something that really was a real legitimate thing, it would come from inside yourself, like being transgender does, not coming from somebody else.
With me, she listened to me more than anything, which was amazing to have someone to talk to that didn't look at you like you were a complete weirdo, and she was just there for me, really. I've been very fortunate to have someone with me at all times throughout it.
Ben and Kimberly's wolf sides rarely appear. However, they often come out in the bedroom.
As teenagers are, you know, we started dating and were very, like, eager, enthusiastic, and like the first couple of times we walked away with a couple of battle wounds, just sort of covered in bite and claw, like really
very intense.
Very intense.
And a little bit scary.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't need to detail all of your sex life. And honestly, if you're into BDSM, that's fine. But just say that you're into BDSM, and not that you're a wolf.
I think it's because neither one of us had ever been with another wolf. and I think it just it brought it out in each other.
Your primal instincts take over, and before you know it, you're clawing and biting your other half to pieces and wondering why the both of you are enjoying it so much. Only afterwards, when you step back and you think,
"Whoa, yeah,
what have we done?"
Yeah,
you know, it all makes sense now.
For both of them, they see their wolf side as a separate creature. Their wolves have their own names, personalities, and feelings. Kimberly has named her wolf side Luna. Unlike others, she has the ability to change into her animal side and let Luna talk for herself.
I normally don't let her speak because she has a bit of a mind of her own. All right, hello. Hello. Yeah, I don't get let out very often.
This seems more like a multiple personality thing than a wolf thing. Just that's what I'm getting from it.
I tend to have a bad habit of running my mouth.
Oh, my kitties are fighting now. I'm gonna wait till they stop so that the noise doesn't get in the way.
A bit and saying things I shouldn't do, so I tend to be kept a bit quiet. And caged is one way I tend to put it. By Kim, yeah. I kind of give her a bit of hell sometimes because she doesn't let me out as much as I should be let out. Unfortunately, she has main control over this body. I've got control over the dreams, so she doesn't really have a choice about what I do.
This will never make sense. That's true. It's not even that LL, it's attention-seeking, period, and it deserves mockery, not understanding. I do think the majority of cases are just attention-seeking. Some of them might be mental illness, but I do think the majority are attention-seeking.
There, we've definitely lived quite a few lives together, and we've lived lives on the other place as well as here. I don't know at what point our souls became one, but I feel that it has always been that way, and it's probably that way for a reason. So perhaps there's something we need to achieve or we need to accomplish.
Ben and Kimberly live on the farm with Ben's mom, Sue. She has only recently been told about the couple's wolf sides.
I don't think she was worried that she was going to get a bad reaction from me, but she's worried that, as Ben is, I think, that I'm going to think they're a little odd, you know. And they, you know, especially Kim, I mean, she's into all sorts of things. So it didn't really surprise me. But with Ben, it did a little. But Ben is a very deep guy. So a lot of the time, I don't know what's going on in his head, really. So
Sue has seen firsthand the impact that Kimberly has had on Ben.
I thought, really? And then I think you have sort of mixed emotions because you think, oh, where is it coming from? Is that
a moment?
Something to do with me as a mum, you know?
Okay. What? I was not prepared for that. I was not prepared for the blood on the baby doll. Let's go back to that.
Oh, is that something to do with me as a mum, you know?
Okay, yeah. Can somebody explain to me why? I mean, I don't have a problem with things looking like bloody but oh my God, why? Why? And what's this? These cupcakes with fake blood on them.
The couple...
Somebody please explain to me what's going on. What you say, what? Like, wow. I think my mind's been blown. This is what happens when you take too many improv classes. The ones that are true mental illness are misled by the attention-seeking. By the way, hello from all your friendly follow right helicopter ride for socialist friends. Good to see you well, Matt. Thank you. It's very 3SG5 me.
People are preparing for their annual Halloween party.
For my Halloween party.
Oh, it's a Halloween party. That makes sense. That makes sense.
I'm making it look like kind of a abandoned asylum kind of
Still, dead baby dolls are kind of disturbing.
thing.
They are not only fortunate to have each other, they also have a group of accepting friends.
Yeah, Josh was there when I awakened. Yeah, Josh is one of the few people I had to talk to about it.
It sounds really ridiculous, but it just came up in conversation. With certain circles, this stuff just comes up. You don't even...
That doesn't make any sense to me. In certain circles, this stuff just comes up. Like, really? The fact that you identify as a wolf just comes up? Like, oh, by the way, I identify as... no, that's... Unless your circle is all Therians, I can't see any situation that would just come up.
Expect it to come up, it'll just come up in conversation, and you're just like, yeah, sure, why not? On the internet, everyone is quite happy to talk about it. I guess it's a lot easier to talk about something when you don't have to stare someone in the eyes.
Ben is...
Okay, that's true. That's absolutely true. It's way easier to talk about someone when you don't have to look them in the eye. I can vouch for that.
Preparing to let his wolf side out as he dresses up as his favorite character, Wolverine.
First of all, Wolverine is not a wolf.
Chosen to go as Wolverine. One, because I like the character. I think he's fantastic. I've been a big fan of the X-Men, and also I think probably on a...
See, there's nothing wrong with being a fan of X-Men. I like X-Men too. Like...
on a subliminal level to myself, because he somewhat matches my Otherkin side. I like his independence, his devil may care attitude, the fact that he's, you know, alone a lot of the time. He's a big, strong, powerful character. Slot in between knuckles, 3 on each fist. Cheap, low budget.
Yeah. Some of their friends also feel like they have an animal side.
I think my species, if I was to put it very basically, would be a wolf. But the thing is, it's not just a wolf. I'm a bit of a mix of everything.
You kind of look like some type of weird hybrid chimera creature, I guess. Like a wolf stag winged creature of some description, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that it's got really a name. It just is.
Just a kind of, yeah, hybrid, I guess, is probably one way of putting it. Which isn't that uncommon.
Here, give me a second. I'm going to get the charger for my computer. All right, sorry about that. Just needed to plug my computer in. Okay.
Breadkin. That does happen.
I've met quite a lot.
Yeah.
The Halloween party allows the couple to dress up and express their animal sides. It provides a rare opportunity to celebrate this with their friends.
Yeah, it feels good to be Wolverine, you know, just kind of letting myself go, beginning to get into character a little bit. Yeah, it's good. I was going to say so.
Please don't tell me one of these people identifies as Chewbacca.
18-year-old Matthew Schimmel believes that he is more wolf than human.
Why are the people that are interviewing all wolves?
While most teenagers his age enjoy hanging out at the mall, Matthew enjoys shopping at the local pet store.
I used to have one kind of like...
Again, they're comparing him to other teenagers, like he's special and different from them. When really, I think he's just trying very hard to look special and different.
This one. But it was bigger and it had reflective paw prints going on it. It doesn't look like they have the reflective kind. I used to love those.
Oh, sorry, I'm reading the chat. Every day for these people is Halloween, LOL, LOL in many circles online. Sadly. Oh, yeah, that's true. Online circles, maybe. These people almost do crew level, do theater. Believe me, everything is discussed. No way this dude actually reads actual X-Men comics and doesn't understand that Wolverine has nothing to do with the wolves. Wolfstag, OMG, wish these people would pick up a mythology book. Most teenagers do not hang out at the mall anymore. That's true. The malls are kind of dying as a store now that you can buy most things online. I'm 27, they didn't back then. LL, it's not the 90s. Yeah, that's true. Malls kind of are outdated.
And these ones I really like just because they're so much bigger. It doesn't really feel strange buying them. A lot of times people don't even notice. They just think, oh, he probably has a dog. I'm looking for a collar or one of those bracelets with the paw prints on it.
Oh, we've got any of those left.
Do you have the collars, though?
No. The only collars I have are the general collars, but I know which one you're talking about. We carried those for a while. We've got others. And then I've got some collegiate collars out front. But yeah, all these, and I have the nautical and reflectives, but none with the paw print. I know exactly what you're talking about.
One of these will fit me.
Yeah.
I'm halfway through. I feel like this has been a journey, an ordeal that I have to endure.
Oh, yeah.
They're good.
Okay, is that all for you?
Yes, ma'am.
All righty.
$14.79. Matthew is the youngest of 4 children and lives at home with parents Joe and Terry.
I know for me, I remember as a kid wanting to be a lion or wanting to be the biggest, strongest animal I just saw at the zoo. So I thought maybe some of that type of childhood fantasy stuff was going on.
See, again, look, it just seems like a childish fantasy.
In the early beginning. But it wasn't too long after that he started getting into the spirit of a wolf and you know, going in a little deeper. Part of me...
How do you go deeper other than just pretending to be a wolf? I don't get what he means by deeper.
Said, okay, this is the nonsense for the week. You know, next week he'll be into something else. I don't know how serious I took it when he first said it, so it was not a huge shock to the system. As it kept continuing, you get used to the idea, and okay, so my son thinks he's got the spirit of a wolf at first, and now it's a little more than that. As the years go by, you kind of learn to accept, okay, this is who he is, this is how he deals with it. It's not up to me to like it or not anymore.
Well, we knew from the time he was a baby there was something different.
Again, oh, look, he's different. Oh, look, he's special.
About him. In a walker, as a little tiny thing, he would go to the doors because his first obsession was doors. And I mean, it was not like your normal child, spank their hand, say no, and it would be an all-day job to try to keep him out of the cabinet doors.
At the age of 6, Matthew was diagnosed with Asperger's.
Okay. So that makes sense why he had the Autism Speaks thing behind him. As I've mentioned in my PETA video, I could potentially have what would have been... It's funny they're still using the term Asperger's because that's actually not the DSM term anymore. But I guess when he was diagnosed, it was. But yeah, I could potentially have what would be considered Asperger's at that time. It's now just considered autism spectrum disorder.
He sat and watched me redo a hard drive once.
But I'll just point out, and again, this is from personal experience, if he's on the spectrum, that means that he probably gets really into, you know, whatever he's passionate about, which makes sense why he has this whole wolf thing. I think a lot of other kin are on the autism spectrum. I kind of suspect that too because the kid I mentioned who was in my mom's school had severe autism and I think some other disabilities, and he went around pretending he was a cat. So, and he was doing this like at high school age.
couple of hours later, my wife walked in, reloaded all the data and whatever, and he redid the hard drive himself. That was the first time reality really hit me that, okay, we're not just older and don't remember how the other kids were. That was the first time I said, okay, he's going to be different.
So again, they keep going back to this title, I Think I'm an Animal, which is really weird to me. They could have just showed it once. I guess it's like a TV program where you have to go back to it after the commercials. I don't know. Yeah, I know people on the spectrum who don't do this because their folks didn't indulge it. Sad, because a lot of these people are gifted. That's true. A lot of people on the spectrum are gifted. But yeah, if your kid comes to you with a fantasy of, I mean, I could understand entertaining it when they're little, but when they're grown up, like, come on.
In Buffalo lives a small community of Therians who run an amateur radio show. Stephen is one of the hosts.
We're going to my workplace. It's a little computer repair shop about 15 minutes away. All I do is I get in, fix computers, and interact with customers.
Oh, let's go back for a second.
Lives a small community of Therians who run an amateur radio show. Stephen is one of the hosts.
We're going to my workplace. It's a little computer repair shop about 15 minutes away. All I do is I get in, fix.
So he's not only a leopard, he's an African leopard named Shroud.
Computers and interact with customers.
Stephen is an IT technician and keeps his work and private life separate.
I don't really feel like I can be myself at work. I have to put on a very professional attitude and look. And if I do anything that involves Therian, it really breaks the professional side of things. It's very difficult for someone to be themselves and also continue that life. All of normal life is a very strange and abstract feeling. Everything is structured very differently compared to the wilderness.
Stephen believes he is an African leopard and likes to go.
This is just so cringeworthy watching him running around in the woods, like pretending he's a leopard.
Go by his leopard name, which is Shroud. He has strong feline traits and likes to run and hunt.
He has strong feline traits, likes to run and hunt. Okay.
Climbing and running and stuff it's very natural. It's very instinctual. So when I'm climbing up a tree or something and I lay down on the branch, it's pretty close to what I remember.
To what you remember as what? Is he one of these people who says he was an animal in a past life? Because I have no patience for those people.
His leopard side is based on a series of intense memories.
When I was little, I had a lot of smaller memories, usually of laying on a tree branch or sitting on a rock and looking out across the savannah. And this was before I even knew what the savannah was, before I'd even seen a photograph or a video. Externally, I am a human being. I have these hands and this body, but internally, I am a leopard. I have the mannerisms and the behaviors, the thoughts.
I bet if you compared his mannerisms and behaviors, thoughts to that of an actual leopard, you would find very little similarity.
And the memories of an African leopard. I don't consider myself human at all, other than my body. I see my body as more of a vessel that doesn't match what I really have inside.
Okay, so he's sleeping on a bench now. I mean, imagine if you were just walking by and you saw a young man sleeping on a bench with the fake ears and tail. I mean,
Stephen lives in Buffalo, where a small community of...
Sorry, I forget to pause. I'm just in time. He looks kind of like that hiding in my room guy. I haven't seen the hiding in my room thing. retarded. I really feel like this is where American healthcare absolutely fails. Mental health is so important. It's very pricey or not funded for research. Yeah, for the people who are genuinely mentally ill, it's sad that they're not getting help.
Therians have gathered. It is one of the reasons he moved here. Through the internet, he has met
Look at this t-shirt. It says, I can't read the whole thing, but it says, I'm a leopard probably trapped in the human body or something like that. Like, just the way it's spelled in like all these crazy letters.
hundreds of people who believe that they are also animals. He now lives with one himself, Timothy, a raccoon.
That's my plushie net. Stuffed animals, plushies, various stuffed animals I've
Yeah, it says I'm a leopard trapped in the human body.
collected over the years. Some I've had since childhood, some I bought in the past few years.
Timothy is not just a raccoon. He is also Stephen's partner.
We've been together for 4 years.
Almost. Oh God, I'm being wrong. I've known you for 4 years. It hasn't been 4 years since we've been together yet.
Well, yeah, pretty close. Like
February.
3 months away.
There's no raccoons and.
See, these are the kind of puppets that I would see in this. There used to be this. It was basically a toy store. It was framed as like a general store, but it was really just a toy store. And unfortunately, they've gone bankrupt since then. Actually, pretty recently. But they used to sell toys and puppets just like that. And when I was little, I loved to get those things. So it's just funny to see like the same kind of thing.
Africa. And I imagine that in the wild, a raccoon might be prey.
Yeah.
We gotta read the chat. He's just like an odd fellow. I disagree. Healthcare is the government job, but even if I did agree with this, this is clearly not a case of mental health so much as a lack of bad parenting. I mean, maybe it seems like most of the parents are just letting them do what they want, not necessarily encouraging it. Things like this and gang stalking are explicitly internet-driven phenomena. Yeah, I did hear the gang stalking thing. Like, it's just an internet-based paranoia where people are kind of feeding off each other's delusions. I also think that leopard guy, along with most other kind, have undergone some level of trauma. To be honest, this is their escape. That could be true. Autistic gay, isn't that special enough, dude? Also to be a raccoon. I know, like, really. This is what happens when people have smaller problems networking. People in the real life either do not intervene or encourage the delusions. I do think it is possibly people encouraging each other's delusions for the people who are generally mentally ill.
We get along just fine. There's no real like predator prey relationship or anything. There's
no predator and prey relationship. I mean, it would be hilarious to see a group of these, like, say somebody was a cheetah and they see an antelope kin, a cheetah kin and an antelope kin, and the cheetah kin tries to run after and eat. I'm sorry.
Normal people when it comes to that.
Because while we do feel the pull of our Therian sides, and we are raccoon and leopard, ultimately we are still human, as much as we don't want to admit that half the time. We are still human, so we still, whatever species we feel that we are identified with is not too relevant to whether or not we love each other.
Their dream is to one day create a commune for like-minded people.
Oh God, an Otherkin commune. Maybe we should create an Otherkin island and just ship all these people out of here.
A safe haven where Therians can live and be together.
The normal ways of living are kind of constraining, and
so in other words, I don't want to be normal. I'm special. As Jeffrey pointed out, you're already autistic and gay. Like, do you need any more not being normal?
One of the influencing factors of leaving home is so I could be with people who share the same beliefs and culture as me. A lot of people who grow up in highly religious areas are shunned or persecuted or just generally downright looked down upon because of their Therian side, and a lot of them end up fleeing toward better areas with good friends, and that's where they spend their lives.
I did feel alone before I found Therian communities. I never had very many friends growing up. I was always viewed as strange for various reasons, mannerisms. The way I talk, even, people found to be weird. But finding a group of people who, in some way, society.
But since the 80s, when mental health took a back foot, and we see more and more people that are not getting the help they need. So is he going to eat the raccoon after mating? Pretty much sure leopards and coons don't get along. These folks are truly delusional and not trying to be harsh, whether other kinds of mental illness or just someone seeking attention. Those behaviors are something that should be addressed and help if can. Yeah, like these people need help.
Society found strange. They're incredibly accepting people, and I felt immediately at home.
To further connect with his leopard side, Stephen likes spending time in the African section of the local zoo.
Beautiful animal.
You know, that I remember. That's very recognizable. It's because when they're on the savannah, they don't actually hide.
He spotted us.
I've been spotted.
Hi, kitty.
It's almost like knowing someone in a distant extended family.
Oh, come on. You have to say, like, oh, this lion is like my family.
Gemsbach here, they were exactly as I remembered them in my memory. The memory of hunting and attacking one of them. It's very weird. It's like killing someone and then meeting their family. It's almost awkward. I know it was a separate life or some separate entity or separate connection or something, but it's still very awkward. The past life memories are very real to me. They're as real as all the other memories I have. It's almost unsettling to be here and look at them, but at the same time, it's yet another link, another connection to the inside.
Wow,
And another way to bring the memory back a bit.
The group in Buffalo don't just identify with being animals, they also dress up as them. Some wear tails and collars, and others wear entire fursuits.
See, the fursuits thing, I don't know if that's really an otherkin or a furry thing.
There's a subculture within the community called furry. Every month.
See, I think they're confusing otherkin and furries. Furries, at least, don't actually think they're animals. They're just attracted to the idea of anthropomorphic animals.
They meet up to express their animal side.
And I'm not defending furries or anything. I'm just saying they're not as bad as otherkin.
It's kind of about taking everything that like Therians might be into, except furries are more social with it. So we kind of connect more, and we hang out, and we do fun things, and we act like crazy, and we make other people.
Okay, somebody said there's also a massive battle between social and clinical psychology. And clinical psychology is real science. Social psychiatry is closer to the stuff Freud did. It's a step back in mental health. Yeah, there are a lot of different fields of psychology. Not all of them are actual science, unfortunately, which is why a lot of people don't take psychology seriously. I'm pretty sure that otherkin is considered a mental illness. I don't know. I think Ms. London mentioned in a recent video. Yeah, I haven't seen Ms. London's video on it. I don't think it's actually diagnosable as a mental illness, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was, if there's more of these people.
People laugh.
There's a lot of similarities between furry and Therian. It's all about anthropomorphics, which is anything between human and animal. I usually just wear my collar and my tail and sometimes my ears. I just let myself go, let myself be free.
Imagine, say you're at a kid, because this bowling alley actually looks a lot like the bowling alley that I grew up with. You know, my family would go out bowling to this bowling alley, and it had similar designs on the walls and stuff. I Imagine if you're celebrating your kid's birthday party, you know, they're turning 8 or whatever, and they're, you know, you're going out, you're bowling, and then you just see a group of people wearing collars, tails, and fursuits. How do you explain to that when your kid's like, why is he wearing a dog tail?
And I fit in with the community perfect.
Outside of the community, not everyone is as understanding.
Yeah, we get a lot of strange looks. We're just kind of bizarre and eccentric. Some people want us to stay away because we're different. Some people love our antics, find us hilarious and really cute.
The negative perception is that they just leave us alone and walk away. The positive perception is that they want to know more about it. There's really nobody who directly says anything negative. There's just people who can't. You can tell that they just don't like it. They can't handle it, so they move away.
In Brunswick, Georgia, Matthew has been waiting for his 18th birthday to fulfill one major wish. It is something that would make him feel truly like an animal.
I haven't liked my name since I was in elementary school, and the reason being, I've just never liked the way it sounded. It wasn't even an identity thing back then. It was just I didn't like how it sounded to my ears. And I've always wanted to change it. I've always been called some sort of nickname throughout school.
Now that Matthew is 18, he has the right to change his name to his wolf name.
Okay, you're going to regret that in a couple of years. Sorry, but you probably are. It's leopard. If you were a Tesla's car outside, I'll show you leopard. What would you be? I would choose mongoose. I would choose human because I'm sane.
My signature, well, the one I use whenever I can. When I change my name, I'm going to use.
Actually, if I were to choose an animal, I would like to actually turn into an animal other than human. I would turn into a house cat because house cats live about the most pampered lives you can live. So it's a pretty easy life. And my cats are fighting again. You guys are bad.
It everywhere. That's my paw print, and that says Shiro Wolf right under it.
So his signature is his paw print.
Actually, a mix between Japanese and Norwegian, and it means white wolf.
Despite Matthew's determination, his parents are less enthusiastic. They are concerned it could hold him back.
Well, he's may have a scalp.
Wait, is that his ringtone? Is his ringtone a wolf howling? Jesus, everything about him is a wolf. That is a very on the spectrum trait, though, being completely obsessed with something.
Scholarship to Georgia Tech. I'm hoping that changing his name doesn't affect that at all. And I've explained this to him, but you know, he's an adult. He can do this without our permission.
Wait. Let's go back. Let's see.
They're concerned.
His mother's making him back. Some kind of meat. Yeah, that is his ringtone. I'm sorry. Probably a stray dog. I wouldn't have too many physical disabilities like purebred living in San Francisco. Get adopted by some hipster gay couple. Yes, a dog lives a pretty easy life too. Oh God, I feel bad for that kid. He's definitely gonna regret that. R.I.P. Hopefully you'll be able to change it back. I mean, he would be able if it's just a legal name change, but it's a real pain in the ass if you have to do a legal name change.
Well, he's may have a scholarship to Georgia
Tech. Just watch what his mom is making him.
That changing his name doesn't affect that at all.
See, look, she's cutting up meat for him, like it's wolf food. I mean, there's a pizza right there.
And I've explained this to him, but you know, he's an adult. He can do this without our permission. So it's a battle I can't fight anymore.
Well, I wouldn't see how your name would cause somebody. I mean, that's pretty discriminatory if somebody just looks at your name and like, oh, you're not getting in. I mean, maybe when they fired another kid, but yeah.
Want to do that?
Yeah.
Better be thinking ahead because you're going to need to have a birth certificate.
Is that meatloaf? Like, what is she even making him?
If that name is going on your college application, you're going to have the birth certificate match it. Going to have to send off for one. I honestly hate that he wants to change his name. He's been talking about this for years.
Yeah, I filled in my forms
Mhm.
for my name change.
So do you have a middle name?
Yeah.
What?
Damian.
Damian?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Believe it or not, it doesn't mean anything. It's literally a name that came to me. Like in my head.
Yeah, I've had weird names come to me in my head too, but I didn't start going by.
The name sounds so strange. You know, White Fang was a better name to me because at least it was something I heard of, which was a wolf story when I was a kid.
And it's really straightforward, unless you're, it even says on all the legal sites, unless you're changing your name to a number or something obscene, they never get rejected.
Yes.
Well, actually, that's not true. If you change your name to something that's copyrighted, also, you can't do that.
Would I be okay with him changing his name? And I said, you know, I can't stop you. I guess I can live with it, but no, I don't like it.
Today is a defining moment for Matthew.
I'm feeling excited, you know. I'm finally doing this. We're here. You know, it's very exciting. It means I'm a wolf, officially.
Despite his parents' worries, he is adamant that this is the right thing for him.
Yes, I finally got it done. I have my forms right here that I need to bring to the newspaper, and everything else is done.
In order to make the process legal, Matthew must finally submit a request to the local paper.
Wait, that doesn't make sense to me. And maybe the different, maybe in different states it's different, but in my case, changing my name had nothing to do with any local newspaper.
Hi, how are you? I'm submitting the form to change my name from Matthew Schimmel to Shira Wolf. Okay.
I truly believe that names have a lot of effect on things, even though you try not to. You get preconceived ideas. You know, you hear some names and you think, oh, must be kind of nerdy. But then you hear Shiro and you think, what is that? I mean, you know, you can't even put like a nationality or anything with that to me.
Check the chat. No, not the ringtone. This kid needs pull. Now they're concerned now. Wait, did he just say white fag? No, he said white fang. This kid needs to be hospitalized and encouraged. The mom probably encouraged it more, I bet. See, this is where I would agree that it's parenting. She's concerned, but feeding him some sort of steak. Yeah, that's the thing. Now I'm thinking maybe the parents are encouraging it, even though now they don't want him to change his name.
Shiro is S-H-I-R-O.
Yeah.
And
I told him I'd be okay with it, but yeah, it really bothers me. But the ultimate goal is his happiness.
In Buffalo, New York, live a small community of people who believe that in some way they are an animal. They live together, hang out together, and have formed close relationships with each other.
Okay, we're
Caleb,
almost
Stephen,
through
and
this.
Timothy have fully immersed themselves within this community, and their relationship together is not conventional.
When I first met these guys, me and Shroud really hit it off, and we had a connection, and we were never limited in that connection because you were so graceful and just everybody being together. And then we kind of ended up realizing that all three of us is what really made the environment, and when it was just me and him, it wasn't really, you know, as fun to be around each other.
They are in an open polyamorous relationship.
Oh God, all three of them are in a relationship. I mean, I don't have a problem with that, but I mean, how special do you have to be?
Meaning that they can have multiple partners, whilst also being together.
I've never really been the monogamous type. I've been in monogamous relationships before, but each and every one of them was destroyed by jealousy. Stupid, petty jealousy. And then I got into a relationship that was more open. And my then.
Wait. Why would, I mean, I guess maybe there wouldn't be the concept of cheating on somebody if you're in a polyamorous relationship, but I don't see why jealousy would be any less of a factor in that.
Boyfriend's side, he was very open, very, very polyamorous, and he pried it out of me. And the more and more he showed me it, the more and more I realized, like, oh, I don't have to be jealous because there's nothing here to be jealous about. It's something that works for us. It's not something that works for everybody. There's no way it ever will. Exactly. It's just something that solves the problem for us. And we've worked with it for years. As far as how it developed between us, it's just obviously we shared similar viewpoints, similar spirituality, similar philosophies on life, and we just kind of meshed. And since we weren't limiting ourselves, since I wasn't saying, child's mine, you can't have him, it just kind of developed. Just like any other relationship. With anything, we think it's just a pile of people having sex. No, there's love, damn it. If sex happens, it happens, but there's love. We can be with other people. We have other relationships. We have other partners. It can get complex. It can be simple. It can be whatever. But I guess what the idea behind our relationship especially is no matter what culture will say a relationship is or isn't, or how it should or shouldn't be, what's acceptable or what's not, we don't care. As long as we are happy with each other, that's all that matters. We just do our own thing.
I see in the furry community, they boast about, having the polyamorous, but it really ends up being.
Polyamory is a terrible idea. Never works out. I like this. It's like watching TV and chilling out. Well, I can't attest to whether polyamory is a terrible idea or not, because I've never been involved in it, and I don't know much about it, to be frank. So I can't really vouch for either side of that.
A lot more complicated than they think, and there's been a lot of hurt. I've seen Caleb in relationships and out of.
But the whole polyamory discussion reminds me of a Marx Brothers movie where what is the point of being polyamorous and an open relationship? It sounds just like being single. It reminds me of as in doing both at once. But it reminds me of a Marx Brothers movie where he tells two women they should all get married, and they're like, but that would be bigamy, and he's like, it's bigamy too.
Relationships, and I see them struggle with it, and there's a lot of drama to it because they're young people, but I don't say anything because they believe that this is okay. But I think they're going to find out on their own that things can become very, very complicated.
Chichester. That's a weird name for an English town.
Wolf couple Ben and Kimberly live on a farm in West Sussex in England. They live with Ben's mom, Sue, who is only now discovering about the couple's animal side.
I mean, obviously this is all very new to me, but I mean, so when did you start having these feelings? As early as Kim, or later, or earlier?
Thinking about it, probably a little bit earlier before Kim, but not really realizing what it was at the time. I just kind of pushed it all back and forgot about it.
What did you think it was? I mean,
I had absolutely no idea. And your brain doesn't really kind of comprehend things like that. It just ignores it and kind of copes with it. But then when I was around Kit.
Holy crap, Matthew, are you watching Secret Sister about A&E? Polyamory is a disaster. I don't say anything because they believe it's okay. Wow, that's how little you care. Yeah, just not being kind of passive in this position and not saying anything. You're just kind of encouraging it at this point.
She was doing much the same things. I thought, that must have been something.
Yeah.
And then those feelings start cropping up again. And then kind of becomes very evident that there's a reason for it, as opposed to, you're just going crazy.
If I had those feelings, you see, it wouldn't say to me that somebody else was driving me. What makes you think it is this inner spirit within you?
I can hear it, I can feel it, I just know it's there.
You can hear it, you can feel it. That makes me think it says evolutionary doesn't make sense. I mean, only two people can mate. I'm legally changing my name to Chichester. Thank you, Zorgnak, so much for the $5. I really appreciate the super chats. That's true. In the human species, at least, because there are polygamous other animals. Maybe that's why they're polyamorous, because they want to be like that. I mean, if people are happy in a polyamorous relationship, then it's fine. Yeah, as long as they're okay with it. It just, yeah, it doesn't. You're right. It doesn't make sense on an evolutionary scale.
Right.
You see it?
It's faith.
You see it? Well, yeah.
Take
I mean, you
take
talk
it like
about
that.
faith. I mean,
Oh, but I was gonna make the point. He can hear it. He can feel it. Does that mean he's like hearing voices or something? Just wondering.
have faith, but I don't ever feel that I have somebody speaking to me. But you are convinced that it is a spirit and a spirit within you, as opposed to just you having these feelings.
Well, it's exactly the same. Just I don't voice it as much as everyone else does.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to understand it, sweet. That's all.
It's a very difficult thing to try and explain. You just got to take it on good faith, really.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're a lie. I'm just trying to understand it, really. You know, or you know.
Okay, I was all for giving them the benefit of the doubt, but in the words of Dr. Evil, right.
It's not an easy thing to understand, obviously.
It's weird though, because it's so normal for us now.
Well, yeah. Obviously, a lot of people would not think it were normal.
Oh yeah, but
I'm not saying all of my friends, but a lot of my cattle friends would think that completely bizarre. And they wouldn't even look any further than, you know, that a pair of them would need help.
For many Therians and otherkin, believing something that nobody else can see creates its own unique problems.
It's very,
So now it's trying to get you to feel sorry for them because they're Therian or otherkin. I'm sorry. I'm not going to feel sorry for you because you want to pretend to be an animal.
And other people can't see how I feel, not just on a Therian level in general. I think and feel so differently from those people, and they don't really understand that.
Again, he has to reiterate that he's special.
Finding the community, I think, was the first time I ever had friends who were like me, people who wanted to do the same things as me, people who wanted to communicate the same way as me, people who were just interested in the same facets of life.
It's not something that we choose. It's something that you're born with, essentially. You discover as you get older. It's something that you discover that it's a part of yourself.
I feel very different. I feel extremely different. I feel like I just don't belong.
Here's the thing. Also, how would you know that your thoughts and feelings are different from other people necessarily? If that's all you've known, I mean, maybe you can compare them later, but just like, how would you automatically know? Oh, I'm different.
Along with the crowd.
I don't know how to explain how I feel. I know I'm different, and I'm making no attempt.
Jeffrey says this guy just wants the D. I'm pretty sure, yeah. Trump 2020 love stream, Matt. Do more like it. Thank you, C-Man, for the $2. And I will live stream more, actually, because with my new school schedule, I have Friday off pretty much, and I'm not going to spend all day live streaming because I have homework to work on, but I'll probably do another live stream tomorrow because that's when I have the time.
Attempt to change it. I mean, a lot of people are different, but, you know, I just like who I am. You know, I can be proud of my identity rather than ashamed of it.
Okay, so that's the end of that. The other documentary I'm going to show you, I think, is like a student film. So, documentary. Oh, Blue Moon. Here we go.
Like a story that I'd read for class, actually, by T.H. White, like Sword in the Stone, and there was like a little sub story in it about like teaching Arthur that like people, like man and all the animals, they all started out the same. We're all like an embryo. We're all like the same, but like the animals when they were created that they chose different tools for how they live their life than people, but really we all started out the same. I definitely think that a lot of people.
Wait, let's go back for a second.
Really, we all started out the same.
I'm not surprised about the blue hair. They look like just a bunch of emo kids.
I definitely think that a lot of people, I don't want to say dehumanize, but definitely like put them on a lower.
Hey, I'll chime in on this. It's a nice break from studying. Thanks for the break, everyone. Thank you. I'm not sure to pronounce your name, Kaylee. Callie. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, but thank you.
They think of animals as an object and not as another living being, because I know from experience, for me having dogs throughout my life, my dogs do feel the same emotions as I do.
I think we kind of disproved that, cultural thing where only humans have souls, because I mean, a lot of us feel that we have the souls of like different animals.
We're not talking about science, we're talking about beliefs.
Right.
Okay, we're not talking about science, we're talking about beliefs. Then why do you claim that? Oh, I just noticed somebody has a video, Fiction Kin or Identifying Spiritually as Pikachu. I'm not going to even go into the whole world of Fiction Kin because that's crazy. I mean, if you guys want it, maybe I'll do a video, but that's even crazier than Otherkin. But back to it's not about science, it's about beliefs. Then why are you claiming this is like a legitimate, valid thing?
Like how it actually portrays into life and like how it works and everything. It's not that, like we're not taking mathematical science out of everything and just putting it into our lives and using math and science and formulas to make our minds up and do stuff. We're actually believing in this stuff, that it will happen.
Okay, but you're believing in that stuff based on past experiences and based on a logical reasoning. I mean, yes, there's emotional reasoning there too, but saying like, oh, we don't need math and science, we just need our beliefs. It's funny because I wonder how many of these people are religious, and if they're not, why would they believe in something that's essentially a religion as well? Wow, science deniers. Yeah, that's the vibe I'm getting from these people.
Happen, and if it does happen, then that's awesome when we proved ourselves right.
Oh god, they all have tails. It's when I hear the cringy howling that I really question if this is real.
I know that for Alpha Res and Alpha Rye, they did a lot of like research on wolves and a lot of research on how.
Girl in hat looks like chubby Ben Shapiro. She kind of does.
How their structure works in like a normal like wolf pack. Kind of like those growls and barks and things were kind of interpreted from a normal working wolf pack that's kind of like present now. So we kind of integrated that into our own rules and our own set beliefs and our own way of kind of showing dominance and submission and things like that. But there's also like, people to look up to, like the elders and the alphas, like they teach us.
So they have the elders and alphas in their pack.
Levels. There's a closed mouth growl, the open mouth growl, and then like a snarl type thing, which Becca's gonna demonstrate for you.
Why are they demonstrating different growls if they're actually wolves? Like, wouldn't you just know how to do those things?
Okay, like the closed mouth growl is to really just kind of get someone's attention quickly. And what you do is, obviously, you have your mouth closed, and you would do a growl from the throat or from the diaphragm, like. And like you can crinkle up your nose, and like furrow your eyebrows, kind of like a like what in the world are you doing? Like, would you get like want to give it a try? doing it? Yeah, like a. At night, just like sit there and just like, just look at yourself. You can laugh at yourself.
It's funny that people in the documentary were all teenage boys or young men. I think there's a couple of women there, but mostly men. And now it's all teenage girls. Basically, just the inhabitants of Tumblr.
You're me. You make dragon sounds.
Yes, yes, totally. But like, you can do that, and like, you can just sit there and do it. But like, I can't do it in my house because like my dogs will go crazy.
When you're like, when someone snarls at you and they're angry at you, and you're like, "I'm sorry," you went first. So, do you want to demonstrate that, you and me? Okay. Wolves in the wild will rub their scent over another wolf to show that they're dominant of them. It's an activity that only elves.
I don't know if wolves do this, but you know what dogs do? They sniff each other's butts. I don't see anybody trying to sniff each other's butts here. You had it right the first time. Nice. Oh, so it's Kaylee then, right? Or yeah, Kaylee. Good luck with school this semester. Thank you. That is beyond science denial. That is reality denial. Would do that one girl on screen now though, just saying, are these kids the reason San Fran has a problem? By the way, you never call it San Fran if you're from there. Because I'm close to there. You never call it San Fran, Jeffrey. Has a problem with people shitting on the streets. I live there, and yes, they are. I know they have pockets, but yet they don't even bring a bag. Nothing. Rule 63, Shapiro just needs a yarmulke overlay.
Alpha's doing it. Not Alpha's doing it, we're going to probably get mad at you. So we're going to show it to you so that if you see it, you don't ever do it. But yeah, so.
Like, it happens sometimes on accident.
Yeah, sometimes you do it on accident, but, you know.
Because if you're walking by someone.
Yeah, but it just means like that
Wait, sometimes you do a growl by accident. Oh, I just accidentally growled at someone like I was a wolf.
Marking that person as yours, like, and it's yeah, as your part of your pack, and whereas the alphas are the ones that are running the pack, they should be the only ones that are marking. No. Therian means part of human and animal. Scropy is like, it's a condition or state of being, so it's a state of being both human and animal.
Well, at least they're saying they're both human and animal, not totally animal.
The first time was a very strange experience because, you know, I'm sitting there and I'm meditating and it's completely normal. And then all of a sudden, like, I felt like it wasn't that I was out of my body, but that I wasn't in my body either. Like, it wasn't mine anymore.
So is she describing having a out-of-body experience, or is she describing what she thinks is species dysphoria? I can't tell.
Or it was something else. And I really like, and I would look at myself and I looked at my hands and I was like, this is strange. It didn't feel right to look at my human self because I was thinking about it. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And in my mind, I was trying to picture myself, and all I could picture was this reddish, grayish, brown wolf. Shifting is where you mentally, you know, like your senses maybe turn into that of your stereotype or the animal you connect spiritually. There are different levels of shifting, including mental shifts, which is the highest one, which is where you mentally, like your mind takes that on that of the mind of your stereotype, your perception, so you see everything differently. Sensory shifting, which is where your senses get sharper a little bit, like maybe your teeth feel sharper, maybe like when people touch you, like it hurts more because you're sensitive.
Okay, so these people are claiming they become more sensitive because they sensory shift. I mean, come on, I don't believe that.
Maybe your hearing gets better, your smell gets better. If you're more shifty, that means that you're more likely to act like your stereotype would, or more likely to mental shift. Just because of your surroundings or the people you're around. A lot of people become shifty around us.
Jamie, our puppy, right now she's doing a grappling with one of our elders.
I like that girl's T-shirt than the Nightmare Before Christmas T-shirt. Okay, so they're pretending to play fight as wolves. As you guys probably heard, my kitties were fighting, and that's not even remotely what it looks like.
Amazing, she's not being very horse today.
This is turning bizarrely sexual. I'm just going to chat. I'm Canadian. I don't care what the snowflakes think. She's describing it being insane. Imagine coming along across one of these kids in the grocery store growling over some raw meat. I've read Tumblr posts where they still allowed porn, and I used Tumblr for that because they had good porn, but there were legit posts from these folks about just that. About Get Swift, about the growling stores and gas stations. I swear, dude. Yeah, the barking is just ridiculous. This is real, people. Just to let you know.
See, a horse tends to have its own back legs of power to push forward. Kind of just generally the most scariest snarls and growls and barks usually come out during the grappling without realizing it.
Right, yeah. There I was just trying to fight like a wolf. Horse fighting is completely different.
Since I generally partial shift into wolf, into Jade, what happens is the fact of she takes over. It's her instincts, and so that is, I mainly use the wolf posturing. Like, you will have foxes posturing is different. You've got cat posturing.
Pretty much with horse fights, it's
a kind of bump up against each other.
Yeah, you try to bump up against each other, and pretty much with, hit them with your gloves.
So they're talking about horse fighting and cat fighting, like they shift between that, I guess.
Because they're so strong.
And body slam.
And body slam. Yeah, and a lot of times they will back up to their opponent so that they can kick them from behind.
Well, shifting for me, it's definitely not voluntary. For some it is, but me, it's more of when Moon is getting fed up with what is going on to me. Moon is very protective of me and my family. So if, say I'm getting bullied or something like that, then there's up to a point, there will be my self-control and being able to control Moon. But then after that, it's more of Moon's trying to protect me and is doing the best to do that.
So he says when he's getting bullied, he turns into an animal. But would just encourage, I mean, I'm not saying that anybody deserves to get bullied, but would that just kind of encourage the bullies?
Well, before I felt really alone. I've been alone for most of my life.
This looks like some kind of a dump or some kind of construction site. I wonder what people think of just kids running around this kind of dump area.
Spirituality and my religion has always been something that I've internalized and has always been just myself. And when I met Shane, I was able to talk to him because I grew up in a very close-minded Christian family, and
that kind of explains things. When people grow up in very politically extreme families, they tend to adopt the opposite, which makes sense why these people are probably into some kind of SJW mindset.
So I wasn't able to talk to anyone about anything spiritual.
It's one of those.
Okay, we get down to business. It's autistic bullying tactics.
Those things where you know about it when you're younger, but then you forget it as you grow up. It just came back to me once I'm at. What happens for a lot of people in the pack too is like once you meet someone else who's Etherean, it's kind of like yawning. It starts like a domino effect, where not that you start believing in it, but it just awakens something inside you, and you realize that, oh, this is what I am. I've just never had a name for it.
It's kind of like this melting pot for like all of our emotions and our actions and beliefs, and we just blend them so well. It's kind of like queso dip. You make some good queso dip, and you make some bad queso dip. And
queso dip is gross.
we made the good queso dip, so we all blend together.
I like
and we're just that.
I love it.
Okay, so that's the end of the documentary, and I do have to go now. I wonder if any Therans are like cockroaching or something like that. Well, that one guy did say that there are some insects, but it's funny that there's not that many Therians that like it, because you'd think if this were a real thing, there would be Therians who would be insects and worms and stuff. So I do have to go. It has been really fun doing this. Maybe I'll do, I know I'm going to do I Want My Sex Back documentary. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Yeah, some insects. So where's the bad queso dip? But yeah, I'll see you guys probably tomorrow. I'll do another live stream. Therian sounds like some Scientology word. It does. It sounds like thetan, which I think is a Scientology word. Yeah, that was really fun. So like I said, hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to be responding to the I Want My Sex Back documentary. Yeah, thank you guys. Okay, bye.